Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are here. Ụtụtụ ọma, ụmụ ọma. They want to thank you for joining us today. We are happy to have you guys here. Um, as usual, help us to share and like and subscribe and do all those things that we need to do. Work is coming along. We are so excited. Not just physically, spiritually, we are extremely excited. God is doing the work that we needed to do, and we are doing the work that we must do, right?
Yeah.
And everything is working in synergy, and we are getting results. So, where are you in part of what we are doing? What are you doing in your neck of the woods? Things are happening. We just let me not get too excited. We're going to play some videos. You're going to see with your own eyes that we are moving, we are trucking along, like Texans will say, we are trucking along and we will soon get to our destination. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. This is my sister, Mona Chinsaga. And then I am a queen. Thank you so much for coming. For the early birds, you're welcome. Those that will see this video for the first time, this is the Daughters of Truth. Self-determination is our business. Freedom, liberty, pursuit for good life is our business. So we get all what is trending internationally and locally, especially as regarding the freedom of the Black world, what they're going through, their past, their present, and their future that is possible. We put things together, make it make sense to us. So if you're seeing this video for the first time, you have stumbled on one stop platform where you will get all you need to be free from the colonizers. Those that said we will never drink water and keep cup. We told them, we said, we must drink water and we will keep our cup where we want to keep it. So let's continue to share. My sister is going to pull up our music for us and then we'll share. My name is Epi. Ekutos Namadi Begi. Ekutos Nandi. Ekutos Nandi Africa. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Continue to help us to share and like. Good morning, our brother Isi Momodu. Happy to see you as always. Our, you know, what is the word that I'm trying to use? Ironclad stakeholder. Ironclad stakeholder. He's there night and day, afternoon. He's one of our social media warrior. He's there sharing information. Our brother, we appreciate you. These are the men that we used to have in our line before they became women. I don't know what they are now nowadays. And on our
So
diapers.
they're not women; they became children.
Oh yeah, they're right.
Women handle more than you can even imagine.
They became irresponsible teenagers.
Yes.
So we thank all our brothers and sisters doing the work in the background. Everybody is not out there showing their faces, but we know they are doing the work. They are bringing the resources, a lot of financial resources needed to get this work done. So we thank our brothers and sisters that are standing in the gap. We appreciate you for all that you're doing. So I got Bapu also.
Yes.
as time is not our friend.
No.
So welcome. I know you have seen our topic for the week. As always, we try so hard, to get it out on time, but life doesn't always allow it to happen. So our topic, the true cost of convenience, unmasking the systems, unmasking the system, the true cost of convenience. So, according to our brother Olu Sola Ajo Lore, you see how slow I went because I didn't want to mess it
Our
up.
papa, our 99-year-old papa,
Uh,
struggle,
right?
fighting for his people. You see, nobody has an excuse. This
Nobody.
papa at 99 will be out traveling.
I know.
Passing.
Looking at him, you wouldn't even know he's a papa
No.
because he's still
Yes. Yes. If he
driving.
could do that, you know that this is not a small case. It's not a joke.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
bringing message from our ancestors.
Yes.
All right. So according to our Papa, Ajolore, Nigerian imposed unitary constitution, the 1999, of course, that we are referring to, is a title deed to the murderous Fulani land grabbers, and the Nigeria elected upon constitution is also a fraud against the people of Nigeria. So I don't know if you have been under the rocks, but this thing went viral this past weekend,
Yes.
where this our daddy went to the church and told the masses what is going on.
Yes.
So hopefully they weren't caught up in his age and how handsome he was or he is, that they were able to listen and understand what he's actually saying. That
Yes.
if we don't fix what is going on, we've been shouting about this. We've even caught anger from people about this because they wanted to go to the election because the sent that Jesus sent
Hmm.
to come and save them did not save them. The sent even came with one watch to make it known that he was sent. Nothing happened. We won. We shouted. We said, close shop. Close shop, that this is a decoy. This is a ploy to take you to another round of slaughter. You guys say, shut up. What are you all talking about? What are you? Hey, we are obedient. We are going to converse ourselves. We saw pastors and fathers coming out from churches to organize and galvanize our people against a plastic that we saw them putting in gutters. We saw videos upon videos where they were dropping your plastics, and yet you guys push through,
Yes.
push
The
forward, believe
Judas goat.
your, huh?
I said the Peter is the Saint Peter is Judas goat. Yeah,
My
go and check what is Judas goat. All of you, Google Judas goat. It will lead you into slaughter and then
absolutely.
escape. You will
We
be
warned as
win.
mothers, as sisters, as the one giving birth to the children that you guys are destroying. We shouted. We said, please don't go. Don't go. This is a decoy. They say, oh, the scent is here. All is well. He can drive the car with no engine. And the last time we checked, he went to Egypt. He checked how electricity is done and he can drive this car. We say,
Criminals.
please, please don't go in there, brothers and sisters. And so to that, we say any African or Nigerian who has not read nor understood what slavery, colonialism, and neo-colonialism did and is currently doing to our people, that person is not qualified to lead a conversation in the public space about the past, the present, or the future of our people. If Africa must undo the 1884/1885 balkanization, which is still ongoing, the effects of it is still ongoing, as you will see in our next video, we must take decisive collective actions to counter misinformation and promote critical thinking. In the midst of all the information that we have right now, you do not get the audacity to tell us you didn't know. I didn't know. But we see you on social media posting stuff. That's not okay anymore. You must know because your lives are in danger. We are talking about existential threats here.
Yeah.
So today, as part of you listening, part of our community of truth seekers, we are going to have a insightful analysis and compelling evidence that we're going to show you of all the hidden colonial system and their evil schemes that often go unnoticed because they will bring you Christ while you're praying to calm yourself. You see, your environment is burning down. You're praying, they give you meditation. You're asking this divine spirit to come and do stuff. And the divine spirit, the last time we checked, it looks like it's in the market too. We don't know where the man is. 500 years, this divine man sat there. They come and collected every one of you and ship you to another continent. So
They say you
what we
chose
understand,
ignorance. If you chose ignorance, it was already said that if
yeah,
you're ignorant, you're going to perish. So the
yeah,
verdict is on the ignorant people. You
you
chose
got to do this
ignorance.
work. That's all it is telling
Yeah.
us that he's not coming. He
No,
already
what is he
told
coming
us
to do? He has
he's
given
not.
you what you need to do, what you need to do. But you chose ignorance. So what else is he coming to do? It's on
So
you.
praying, fasting, running back and forth, pretending, going to prayer meeting, oh, praying for one Nigeria. We can see that and working. Like,
The people that are coming to colonize you are also praying. Are they not? They came in the name of the Lord. Are they not brothers and sisters in Christ? Mm,
they are, my sister. Please
okay.
continue to help us to share.
Hmm.
So, bringing to the world practical steps and collective actions that the indigenous Nigerian indigenous ethnic nationalities, the owner of this land that we call our own, which was stolen by the British land grabbers. It has come time now for us to become critical, to renegotiate this space called Nigeria if we must remain as a single union. So you pretending that the problem is not there, it's not gonna solve it. You
Mm-mm.
allowing people to come on I Rise and TV and run their mouths, the people benefiting from Nigeria, it's not gonna solve it. Or the people that was pushed from APC to PDP back to Labour Party, back and forth, they are running helter skelter. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna work for you. As you're watching, they have turned your so-called political parties into one with money, and everybody is selling. Oh, I'm selling anything and everything. So you can see that we have irresponsible men and women running our affairs. And then you, the good men and women, you sit there. How long is this going to continue? How long are we going to allow mediocrity to be the standard for the day? We can see that they lack capacity to give us what we want. And yet, we sit around and wait for things to happen. Oh, I forgot. Ibukobi is coming. We're going to church. And we're saying that's no longer good enough. So I am going to pull up the first video for you to see how we got to where we're today. It wasn't by accident, it was intentional. And that side effects, the adverse effect of that decision is still riveting in our lives today. We see it everywhere. We don't have leaders that care for us. We don't have anything that is working for us. Even their so-called church, I think the midweek services, we abandoned our wives and our children and our husbands at home, and nothing is happening. You. Unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, must do this work.
Yes.
You must do this work. Nobody's gonna do it for you. It's not that one where they give birth to you in Nigeria, then you wake up, there's a place called America, you get visa, bang, you land there and life is good. No, this one, this one is for you. You are going to this work. So the earlier you pull your shirts up and your underwear up, whatever you need to pull up and say, nah, so I can begin to dig this land. The better for you. If you think you will get up and go and hide somewhere and begin to eat benefit, yes, we pity you. We are sorry for you. So I allow my sister to add while I find this video in all these things that I opened.
Thank you so much, my sister. So, like my sister has said, this is a movement. It's a movement that seeks to build a more informed and empowered society where human life is valued and respected. That's what we seek to do. And we are inviting you to be part of this movement. There's nothing else to do. You being on the social media, either you're doing ba, calling Baal that is not hearing, not seeing, dumb. Because if it's a God that hears, you don't need to repeat ba before the God will hear. So that God you are calling, it's not hearing. The God that is working with us on this project, one call, he hears. In fact, even when we're having conversation, he hears, he intervenes, and he has been working with us. This is the noble assignment we're inviting you to. So what the video my sister is pulling up is our sister giving analysis, because we have other people that understand what is going on. Like we said, if you have not gone to read slavery, neocolonialism, colonialism, what it did to us. We don't want you to be in public holding a conversation about our past, present, and future because you won't know what we're saying. But if you say the right thing, we'll bring you on the platform so that you will tell our people what you're saying. The 1884 deal that broke Africa and destroyed our sovereignty and our liberty. Listen to our sister analyze. We have said these things severally, but it's always good when we say it, we bring other people that are saying the same thing so that you see that we are not just alone in this campaign. It is a collective action. Everyone, if you're on social media creating content and what you're creating is not about this thing on the table, I don't know what to tell you. Because in the time to come, your children, your grandchildren will ask you, Grandpa, Grandma, what were you doing when this type of movement was taking place? What was your role? You tell them you were twerking and twerking on social media. May God help you. Let's go ahead, my dear. Thank you.
So, to understand how we even got to the Berlin Conference, you have to know the real story.
I don't know what happened to the volume. Can you see it though?
Yeah, I can say it. I think I can hear it. Is the volume not up?
Oh, you can hear it?
Yes. Yeah, I
I'm
can
not
hear it.
hearing it. Okay.
Not the sanitized version they put in the textbooks. The conference wasn't about peace. No, it wasn't about progress. It was about power. And yes, greed.
A colony that made many European states compete with each other, vie with each other to accumulate colonies in order to make them great.
In the early 1880s, Europe was in a frenzy over Africa. They called it the scramble for Africa. And that's exactly what it was, a race to grab land, resources, and markets before anyone else could. King Leopold II of Belgium played a major role in sparking the urgency. Behind the scenes, he was desperate to legitimize his personal control over the Congo, a territory he claimed under the fake
Sorry, saying
banner of
double.
humanitarian work,
Can we stop?
but was really setting up for brutal exploitation.
Thank you.
At the
What
same
about now?
time, Germany, under
Okay now.
Chancellor
Huh?
Otto von Bismarck,
It's okay now.
was becoming a new rising
Thank you.
power in Europe.
Okay.
Bismarck didn't even care about Africa initially, no, but he saw an opportunity. He realized that by calling a conference, Germany could establish itself as a diplomatic leader in Europe and use Africa as a bargaining chip in bigger European rivalries. So, according to historians, it was Bismarck who organized the Berlin Conference, officially under the banner of bringing order to Africa. But the real goal was to prevent wars between European powers over African territory while carving it up in ways that served their own interests. Now, here's the part that will never sit right. Not a single African leader, not a single African king, not a single African voice was invited to that table, that dinner table. 14 countries attended: Germany, France, Britain, Belgium, Portugal, Spain, Italy, the Netherlands, Austria Hungary, Sweden Norway, Denmark, Russia, the Ottoman Empire, and the United States. But not one African nation had a say. Well, it's not really a surprise, is it? You can't exactly invite the person you're planning to conquer to the party, can you? Now, they talked about Africa as if it was empty land, property to be negotiated, divided, and sold. A place without history, without governments, without civilizations worth respecting, without people worth listening to. And my people, that right there tells you everything you need to know about the real foundations of the colonial system that would come after. It was never about partnership. It was about conquest, extraction, and control, dressed up in the language of civilization. So, what actually happened inside that room? For 3 straight months, from November 1884 to February 1885, European leaders sat around a series of grand tables, maps spread out before them like a feast. They negotiated, they argued, they made deals. But they all agreed on one thing: Africa was theirs for the taking.
So they sat around a table amicably without the presence of any African, it must be pointed out, and they consulted amongst themselves in order to decide on the rules for occupation.
The result was the General Act of Berlin, a document that set the ground rules for how European powers could claim African land. First, it introduced something called the principle of effective occupation, which basically said you couldn't just plant a flag and call it yours anymore. You had to show that you could actually control the territory with military force, administration, and trade. In theory, it was supposed to make things fairer between European nations. But in reality, it kicked off a violent race to invade, conquer, and occupy as much of Africa as possible, no matter the cost to the people living there. The act also guaranteed free trade in certain regions, but again, not for Africans. It was free trade for European merchants, corporations, and governments to extract whatever resources they wanted: gold, rubber, ivory, copper, cocoa, you name it. They also agreed on freedom of navigation along major African rivers like the Congo and Niger. Again, not to help Africans travel or trade, but to make it easier for European powers to ship out goods and troops. When the conference ended in 1885, Africa was on the path to being completely divided. In less than 30 years, over 90% of the continent would be under European control. Ancient kingdoms collapsed. Families were torn apart by artificial borders. Rival ethnic groups were jammed into the same colonies, sowing divisions that would explode into conflict decades later.
Should be seen on a spectrum, on a continuum of plunder, pillage, and rape that all the European powers engaged in, that they engaged in at varying degrees and at varying levels. And the most horrific exemplar of the violence of colonialism is Congo.
And it all started right here, not on African soil, but in a European conference room, where Africa's fate was decided without a single African voice in the room. My people, when we talk about Africa's struggles today, we simply can't forget this, because the wounds that were opened in Berlin still bleed into our politics, our economies, our societies today. And it's painful to watch.
Why is Amazon
So, my people, if you've been part of this community for some time, this story is not new. It's no more new, and it's not news. I mean, it's news, but it's not new that the convenience the modern world is enjoying today is because of the deadly systems we planted in Africa that will keep Africans poor, dejected, underdeveloped, so that their resources can be stolen to build Europe, Asia, Arabic world, everywhere in the world. We listened to her when she mentioned all the 14 countries that were present when they decided to butcher, massacre, and balkanize Africa. Now they're not stopping at taking the resources. They now want to eliminate, claim to those ancestral lands. They've tried everything, giving our people green cards to everywhere, to fly everywhere you want to fly to. Lottery, whatever, just get out of your land. Get out, get out. We need that land. There's no reason why you should be the one in charge of these resources. No, get out. And then finally, they armed the Fulani to come and finish the work. My people said, we don't want you to just hear. We are building foundation, because if you've been part of this community and this platform, you know that how we do our things is we come lay foundation, connect things for you in order to take you to where you should be and the action to be taken, so that you be part of the action. So we are not here to lament, like we always say. We are not here just to tell story. That's not what we're here. We are telling you the details. We are putting the facts on the table for you to convince you, the politicians, you, the church leaders, the social influencers, that there's need for action. We need to change the narrative. We need to do things differently if we are going to live differently. Let's listen to our brother and our father. He says a lot of things. Today he's talking about the new scramble for Africa. The old one hasn't finished. More people are joining. So the 14 countries of 1884-85, they now have more countries joining them. Those that were not on the table that time said, oh, you didn't tell us name will here. Let's come and eat whatever turkey you people are sharing. We want to be part of it. So they now call it the new scramble. But the old one hasn't gone away. So it's old and new scramble for Africa. And guess who will be dispossessed? You that have refused to stand up and do what you're supposed to do. Thank you.
Governance. We'll have our ministers. That will happen, but they are not bothered. After we have elected them, you'll then see them sending their arrows ahead. You'll see Bill Gates come and meet your president. You'll see Tony Blair come and meet your president. You'll see Macron come and meet your president. You'll see all of them. And then they will never admit, but they'll be told, if you want money in agriculture, behave this way. If you want money in this area, behave this way. They will never tell that to the Chinese. They will never tell that to the Indians. They will never tell that to the Vietnamese. They will never tell that to the Koreans. But in Africa, they tell us. That is why, as I speak to you now, under this new scramble, the IMF and the World Bank are back, telling you who to hire in your universities, what to sell and what not to sell. It is a sad situation. So today, as I look at Africa in that new scramble, the Chinese are here. I hope that this institution was not built by the Chinese.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
The Turks are here. The British are here. The French are here.
Lebanese.
The Qataris are here.
All of them.
The Americans are here.
Everyone.
This time round, they are so subtle that we don't even recognize them, but they control us. What are we going to do about it in order to develop? We must do something. And if we don't do that thing else, you who have been trained in this institution, you have traveled the world. You have traveled Nigeria. There are two things that you can do with your traveling. You can marvel. Says it is great in China. You can marvel. You can wonder or feel pain. I'm urging you to feel pain.
Yes.
To feel pain for the continent of Africa, and in your own way, when you go out there, go and do something about it, because it has also been demonstrated that it can be done. I've traveled across this continent and I've seen that development is possible. I was in Rwanda before 1994. I was in Rwanda in 1996. Genocide. 1 million dead. Its obituary written. Will never rise, they said. You go to Rwanda now. They are demonstrating that it can be done. Go to Kigali now. See what they are doing in the health sector in their own small way. See how they are collaborating in the area of mobile telephony in their own small way. It can be done. I've been to Botswana and I've seen what they are doing in their own small way. I've been to Mauritius, see what they are doing in their own small way. And they do not have the resources that other countries have. They do not have the resources that the Democratic Republic of Congo has. And I'm giving these examples to say that indeed it can be done, and it can be done within the continent of Africa. So what we must do is to begin to pull together, you know. As I've been sitting and listening, I was also struggling to have internet in this room.
I think we can stop here.
And every effort was being made to connect me to internet. And
Thank you so much. So it's not a laughing matter. And it's not just about feeling pain and pitiful and all that. Like we said, we're here to get you informed and to empower you so that you will do the right thing, because we know you can do the right thing. It's not as simple as, oh, what you see in Rwanda or see one or two places where they just say, okay, let's part of you. After we have finished killing part of you, let's put some. The thing is that you're not seeing the system they put in place after they finished the genocide. It's like the Biafra genocide. When they finished the Biafra genocide, they created Nigeria. Nigeria that belongs to no one, an artificial entity, dispossessing all the indigenous people, all the indigenous peoples. So you don't have title deed, like the title deed to your land, they handed it over to Fulani, a foreign, non-indigenous entity. When you see that at the initial time, you will not even understand what is going on. You think it's politics. You think it's church. You think it's this, something else. Your mind will be going somewhere else. But they are putting these things in place to distract you, so that you
destabilize the place too. Keep it destabilized all the time.
they will that's the target, to destabilize it, but they will distract you first into thinking that you have a country called Nigeria. Meanwhile, their target is your land and the resources there. You will see them bringing people in. They will call it anything, weather change, climate change,
Farmers and the headers clash.
farmers and headers, misinformation. They put, if it's black, they will say it's white. If it's white, they'll say it's black. If it's red, they'll say it's blue. All this is to confuse you, the indigenous peoples. And if you're here today on this platform, we are saying that this is 2025. You have no right to be confused anymore, because information is here. You don't have any right to allow yourself to be deceived anymore. Information is here. Open your ears. You will hear, and we know that you are able to understand. You are capable, you have the ability to understand. Because when you understand, you will do things differently. Let's listen to what this man is saying. How Britain handed the indigenous peoples of Nigeria to Fulani killers and land grabbers,
which they did all over the world,
which
everywhere
they
they
did all
go.
over the world.
Yes.
They use them to go everywhere. They get to a place, look for a small minority, arm them, fortify them, and use them to eliminate the owners of the land so that they can take the resources in the land. That is how the convenience you see in London, the convenience you see in America, the convenience you see in the modern world is because of this evil systems.
For our sufferings, yep.
Yes, in Africa. So listen to those systems. We are maxing them for you so that things will make sense to you. Thank you.
Systematically taking over Nigeria, and they want to make Nigeria. They are systematically taking over Nigeria, and they want to make Nigeria into a Muslim caliphate. And the Fulani ethnic militia, the Muslim terrorists, go into Christian villages. They're not coming in with cattle. They're coming in on motorcycles with AK-47s and killing everything that moves, and then destroying and razing the entire village.
And yelling Allahu Akbar while they
yelling
do it.
Allahu Akbar while doing it. And has nothing to do with climate change. These are nomadic herders that have 500-year-old view of cattle farming. Nigeria was 70% Christian.
Amazing.
Now it's 50-50. It's 50% Muslim, 50% Christian.
Because they've been killing.
Because they have been going back to their systematic jihad. Now, look, Islam has conquered every civilization it's touched since 640 AD through three methods of jihad. One, cultural jihad. We'll move in, we'll blend in with the population as we're a minority. Then they start gaining a population, having lots of kids. Then once they get a population, they do political jihad. All right.
And cultural.
Then cultural jihad. Then after political jihad, once they have the political cover to do the violence, they go into violent jihad and take over territory. And that is how they have systematically taken over all of Northern Africa.
Well, and what's particularly interesting when you dig a little deeper is that the Fulani tribe doesn't just exist in Nigeria. They're in Sierra Leone and Senegal and right across the border, right? I mean, throughout the center and east of Africa and west.
And for some magical reason, every country they touch turns into war.
Yes, and when you
turns into genocide and turns into war. Every country that they touch.
Yep. They said it. They said it.
They are systematic.
More informed than a whole lot of you guys. And I still believing that you're in a safe place. Anyway. After all, you guys are going to your cathedral churches every day praying, and they're telling you these people they have an agenda. 200-year agenda that they're using to make sure that they go from their cultural jihad to their religious jihad to their political jihad, which we know they have taken over your political system. And violent jihad is the next. Actually, they're doing them concurrently. They are not waiting anymore because you guys are wasting their time.
But does it not sound the same? Like, is it not deja vu like what Britain did or doing? So Fulani is copying exactly from Britain and Europeans. And that's why we told you that these two criminal gangs, one coming like in the case of Nigeria, or coming from the north, using Islam as a cover, one coming from the south, using Christianity as a cover, is basically the same thing. What it is colonization. It is not about Christianity. It's not about Islam. But they will use this religion, adulterated as they are, as a cover for whatever evil they want to do. They come in presenting God. And then you will think it's God and you embrace it. It is not God. That's why
Given that Nigeria is currently generating 5,000.
Sorry, my dear, I was trying to pull it up.
That's why your prayers look as if they are not being answered. Because it's not about praying. It's about people using the name of God falsely. The Islam they're bringing from the north is fake. It's not God they're bringing. It's not about God. It's about your land. That's why they conquered Hausa. We'll talk about religious, cultural conquering, then political. The Christianity they brought from Rome, England, everywhere. Yes, we said it. Because what they're doing is not biblical. They're not bringing righteousness to your land. That's what we have told you. The more churches they build, the more iniquity will increase in your land. The more evil will increase your land. The more cathedral they build, the more evil. As people attend those places, they are not becoming better. They are becoming more devilish, more wicked, and hostile to their neighbors. That's why we know it's not about God. We don't have issue with God because God is with us. We bear his name. Munachim Suaga. I am going with my God. Our ancestors knew about God and have been working with God forever. But any religion that is about empowering you to dispossess your brother and your sisters, it is not from God. Any religion, anything you practice, whether you're praying to cockroach or you're praying to mountain, and it's not making you a better person in the society, that cannot be God, the creator of the universe, that our ancestors knew before these dark children appeared from both north and south. So these are two criminal gangs coming to grab land. Britain is a land grabber, and he will call it Commonwealth. Who does this? Who takes your land and says that your land that you inherited for your fathers are now our Commonwealth? And you accepted it and believe that it's okay. So we are saying our people must understand what is being said. The religion they are practicing is only a cover for colonization. And that's what we'll talk about critical thinking. There's no way Christianity, for instance, if you read the Bible, is called good news. The coming of Christ is good news. Are you seeing good in your land? Are you seeing good in your neighborhood? You don't need high brain to figure it out. It's a cover, and that is why it's not working. Don't worry. When we finish eliminating these viruses, when we finish eliminating these evil beings and monsters, you will see how God is worshipped in truth and honesty. We've not started. So these fake things need to go. We told you, Britain handed us over to their fellow land grabbers, the Fulani. Their partnership. Britain and Fulani are in cahoots. Their partnership. They have partnership. They own Nigeria. So look at army uniform. That when you wear it as a civilian, this evil military will get you. Even if we saw a video when a cripple was just wearing this camouflage, what they did to him, flogged him mercilessly, beat him, pushed him down from his wheelchair. That's how wicked they are. Because they are not for you. They are for the colonial monsters. They cannot be for you. Here we see military being for Americans. We know what it means. Those ones, the police, the military, all of them are for the colonial monsters. They are not for the people. Now they have taken the Fulani murderers, killers, and given them this uniform. We saw when they were importing these uniforms, They came in through the borders. They came in through the seaport. They have won it. You watch what is going on. Not us saying. You see it in your video. So the Fulani killers are wearing army uniform to kidnap indigenous people in our forest. With AK-47. Are you seeing them? We always thank those that are sending videos to us because, like we said, we have people on the ground. We don't go get this in. They send it to us. So thank you so much because you're part of the work we're doing. Our platform is show and tell. We present it to you because we don't have time for propaganda, lies, no need for it. We have enough truth and facts on the table to run our campaign. So there's no need for lie, propaganda, or misinformation. No. The truth we have, the facts we have, they are able to free us and finish this assignment. So Britain left us in Nigeria to battle with darkness, underdevelopment, and Fulani hired killers and terrorists. Why they seek? They live in convenience. And then some people say, London is this, London is that. We died that they might live. So this is a calculation for those that keep listening to these politicians coming to tell you electricity is coming 247. Tinubu, he used it. But what you don't know is that everything that's saying is a lie. It's not a fact. You can never achieve what they're saying. Buhari came and told you $1, 1 naira. What is it now? $1 is now getting to 2,000 naira. Instead of getting better, you're getting worse. Each time you go for these elections. Because it's not about
your punishment will quadruple.
Exactly. It's not about you. It's about them deceiving you while your land is being grabbed. 2 criminal gangs, Britain and Fulani, they are partners. Britain was on the land working actively till 1960 that they said they wanted to give you people independence because we are crying too much. So they gave you flag independence. But what you did not know, which we have said on this platform, and we have a lot of videos, educative videos telling you what happened 1960. That while you were celebrating independence, Fulani were in the north celebrating conquer because they just handed you over to them. And that's why we said the 1999 Constitution is a title deed to your land, handed over to Fulani. And that's why they are coming in to eliminate you. The politicians that are promising you water, light, they are lying. So let's do calculation, just practical calculation, because just like use sense and follow the calculation.
It's another ploy to drag you along to go and renew your suffering.
That Nigeria is currently generating 5,801 megawatts of electricity now.
Okay, don't take them serious.
Calculate how many years it will eventually take us to have 24 hours light.
Nigeria is not my
Now, this is 2025, and we are currently generating 5,801 megawatts. But in order to project into the future, we have to project back into the past. Now, in 1995, which was 30 years ago, Nigeria was generating 5,445 megawatts, which means the average megawatts generated per year is 11.87 megawatts. You calculate it.
Don't take them serious.
But you see, in order for Nigeria to have 24 hours light,
Let's have it.
we need around 33,000 megawatts of electricity.
Of blessed memory.
And so the number of years it will take Nigeria to have 24 hours light is calculated by projected megawatts minus current megawatts divided by 11.87. That's the average megawatts generated per year.
Nigeria is not my country.
The projected megawatts is 33,000. The current megawatt is 5,801 divided by 11.87. Now, when you solve and solve and solve and solve and solve, the number of years it will take Nigeria to have 24 hours stable electricity is
a very challenging time for us.
Let's have it.
2,291 years. Which means
Wait, hold on, please. Finish up.
Nigeria will have light in year 4,316.
Blood of Jesus.
No wonder Aso Rock
God have mercy.
don't switch to solar.
I will like for you.
They're laughing, but it's not a laughing matter. That it will take Nigeria 2,000 plus years to have light, steady light. So any politician that is coming to use that as a campaign, whatever, you should stop listening to them. They are all liars. And why they left Nigeria and Nigerians in darkness? What is Britain doing? Britain is seeking to pass deportation bill to stop those trying to escape from the hellhole called
that
Nigeria,
they created for us.
that they created and called the British Commonwealth. The hellhole they created for you and your children. They say, no, don't. This is the new law. It said deport all foreign criminals. You know, if you break,
They are calling you a criminal. They are calling you a criminal now. Oh, that's
Yes.
what that meant.
If you think you're not a criminal, if you break traffic lights, you can become a criminal. Just stop sign. Mandatory age checks. Tougher visa rules. Disapply the Human Rights Act to immigration cases. Don't use it. Don't come and say, hey, my right, they're killing me, please now give me immigration. No. Make asylum support repayable and other things. Of course, British Conservative Party and Britain, they have the right to conserve whatever their land, do whatever is their rights. But what we're saying is that you cannot be doing that while you continue to steal from Africa and Africans. You can't continue to subdue the indigenous peoples of Nigeria and Africa and treat them as if they're not humans, as if they don't have rights, because they're not criminals. We believe that all humans are born equal and every human life matters. Yes, all countries, not just Britain, should be a home, not a hotel. Yes, Kemi, because they will always put somebody like you to say whatever they want to be said.
Of course, that's the MO. That's how they do it.
So it's time for us to build a home for Africans and for Black people. We have a land. We have our ancestral lands. Stop making it impossible for us to live in our land. You can't be doing that. And that's why my sister said that introduction. Nigerians imposed unitary constitution, 1999 edition, is title deed of the Fulani, and the Nigeria erected upon that constitution is a fraud against the indigenous peoples of Nigeria. We are quoting Pa Angelo. So that is what we are saying. We are pulling videos, Nina's video, because like we said, when we show you the problem, we will always take you to the solution. There is a solution. We are not lamenting. We are breaking it down. We break the problem down for you. So you will not have an excuse to say, I didn't know. My people say, if you allow, they refuse to stay, and you here, and you stay there, Don't say it's somebody else that did it. We cannot Confederation of Nigeria. This is Nina's title, because Nina has a lot of videos and articles. He said the urgent imperative of constitutional reconstruction. If we are going to remain as one political entity, like I hear Soludo say, how do you even say it? I'm an unrepentant federalist or what? We don't know that.
We'll play the video.
What you have is not federal system in Nigeria. And that's the problem we have with these so-called doctors, professors, and everything. They have the degree they get, they can apply it to solve physical problems. When they see truth, they start reasoning as if has an in a true federal system, Abuja will not be the one telling you what to do in your locality, especially when you have a threat like Fulani killers killing your people. It is not how it's done. If you come to America, you will see a true federal system. Each state is practicing, like kind of independent. And they have their own to protect their borders and everything. Of course, we're not talking about state in Nigeria, because America own is understandable because everybody is a foreigner. They came, chased out the indigenous people, took it over, so they can afford to come from different states and do whatever they did. Our own is different because we are indigenous to the land and we still have our borders. Ishekiri, they know their land. Igbo, Yoruba, Efik, all of them know their land. Sorry, are we able to put the video? I'm just waiting for us to put it. We know our lands and we know our borders. We know our name. Our ethnic nationality is not just a language. I hear some people coming up with some narrative that very sickening. It's beyond a language. We have a culture, we have tradition, spirituality, bank, financial system, social system. We had everything before the colonial monsters came. So please stop reducing us to tribes. We are not tribes. We are nations. Nigeria, to say the least, is supposed to be an entity made up of micro nations, not even micro nations, mega nations. There's no micro, there's nothing micro about Yoruba nation. A nation of over 60 million people cannot be a micro. So please stop belittling us. We are not tribes. We are nations that can exist fully on their own. And we were existing on our own before these evil monsters came. We must reconstruct Nigeria. We must renegotiate the union. Let's listen to what Ninas is saying.
From the Secretariat of Ninas, it is one thing to complain, raise alarm, make suggestions for how, just lament. It's another to have a strategic plan for how to solve the problem. Everybody has been talking about the constitution that has to be done away with. Everybody has been talking about restructuring. Everybody has been talking about even the ones that say they want to leave the union. The ones they say they want referendum now. Do a nation, Biafra nation, resource control. All those things that you want changed from what Nigeria is, offering you as at now. How will it be done? And we've heard people who probably hadn't paid enough attention to what Ninas is saying. From that constitutional force majeure, anybody who has education, anybody who can read and write, who has not read that proclamation, is shortchanging himself or herself. We plead with you because it could mean life or death for you or people very close to you, that you read to know, or that you did not read and therefore did not know. That constitutional force majeure of December 16th, 2020, provided an elaborate framework for engaging all of that reconstruction that must now happen, that have become imperative. Whether you want outright exit from the union of death Nigeria has become for everybody, or you want a return to the autonomy levels agreed at Lancaster House, that's regional autonomy, or you want to control your resources and your environment. We hail the jaw for coming out as clearly as they came out the other day. And we rebuke the Obasanjo that was trying to rebuke them for speaking up. Anything you want, the way and means of getting it done is different from sentiment and lamentations. And therefore, in that constitutional force majeure proclamation of December 16 by NINAS 2020, we had adopted and incorporated a document titled Open Memorandum to President Muhammad Buhari on the restructuring debate from the Alliance, dated November 16, 2018. Guardian newspaper reported on it on November 18, 2020. You can, 2018, sorry, 2 days, we wrote it out on the 16th, and it was in Guardian newspaper on the 18th. We can very easily, check that out. And what was it? It is in that open memo on the restructuring debate from the NINAS Alliance, addressed directly to the president, who went to France in that period. He went to Paris to say, all these people who are looking for one adjustment or the other in the constitution, they don't seem to know what they are looking for or how it can be attained. Let them bring it. So he went pretending, and I use the word pretend advisedly, because he was part of the Fulani delegation that came to Pronaco 2005-2006. He understands exactly what we're talking about. That was why they put restructuring in their manifesto. And so now nobody seems to know how to do it. But we also took time to detail step by step, start to finish, how it can be undertaken. We have acquired a body of knowledge on this subject matter, coming from NADECO to the Pronaco that took 2 years to bring all the nationalities together to look at the options available to us. And moving on to the MNN that took this constitution to court in 2007 to say we didn't make it, and all of the things that led to the Solemn Assembly, the joint multi-regional actions that became the Solemn Assemblies that we saw in Port Harcourt in April of 2015, in Ibadan in September of 2017, and in Makodi in July of 2018. Those processes have become a body of knowledge sufficient to solve this problem that is looking intractable. And so that open memo is simply, to identify the two-step procedure. Anybody who is talking about calling national conference, or Basojo called national conference, Jonathan called national conference, the reason those conferences didn't work was because the modalities were wrong. If you call another conference today to say, oh, come, let us all reason again, you are going to fail as woefully, even more woefully. What needs to be done is in 2 stages. That is why we put those 5 points of proposition in our proclamation. Anybody who will read those 5 points will see exactly how we can come to those 2 stages. We must accept that constitution we have now cannot carry us anywhere. We must accept that it has to go. We must accept that we can't go to another election under it, so that we can put a time frame. Otherwise, we'll be at this discussion under 10 years, and people will be dying in millions. And so we come down to that open memo. We adopted and incorporated it in that December 16 proclamation of 2020, so that in one hand we had stated clearly what the problem is and what the solution should be. On the other hand, by adopting that open memorandum on the restructuring debate from this alliance, we also placed on the table a step-by-step articulation of how to undertake that fundamental reconstruction that we can no longer postpone. Let nobody from after this broadcast, let nobody come saying we don't know what to do or how to do it. We challenge those who may want to say so to go to the website of NINAS to read that open memo. You can even Google it, open memorandum to President Muhammad Buhari on the restructuring debate from this alliance. And then you will see exactly what needs to be done to come to the restructuring that you want, to come to the referendum that you've been seeking. If we go in this sequence, we can guarantee that these problems will be solved and everybody in self-determination will get to where they want to go. Those who want 100% autonomy can then vote in that referendum to be by themselves. Those who are satisfied with 80% autonomy can vote in that referendum. But we must get to the point, the threshold of transitioning, where those choices will be made, because what the campaign we are leading is to restore the sovereignty and therefore the self-determination rights of the constituent components of Nigeria without exception of any section. All the nationalities, big or small, will agree among themselves how they want, in what formations they want to federate. Those who want to relate will stay together. Those who don't want to relate will say so by making maps that will exclude other people. But the whole thing is to accept now that we must go to taking that decision on how we want to live. The decision we took in 1960 at Lancaster House has been overtaken, and that is what we have to resolve now. If we do not act quickly enough to resolve it together, those who are being killed across the Middle Belt and the South, those whose future have been ruined, who are roaming all over the world, young people who are fleeing from Nigeria, I tell you, the right to self-determination, which is what they seek now, whether they are asking for restructuring or they are asking for Oodua Republic or Biafra Republic or whatever it is, or resource control, all of those things are issues of self-determination arising from the constitutional grievances imposed by the unitary constitutional arrangements. They are all connected. They're just a matter of degree of autonomy that will be acceptable to them. The process, the procedure by which that choice has to be made is what NINAS has placed on the table. Anybody who is not already a part of it, anybody who is not already a part of the campaign to shut down the journey to another election under the 1999 constitution is a part of the problem. Silence is not golden here. Silence is complicity. Tribute to Bishop Tutu, who told the whole world that keeping silent in the face of a moral question is support for the evil.
Yeah.
Let us stand up now and join in insisting that we should go and that we must solve this problem now, other than waiting for it to consume everybody. The process for doing it is clearly articulated in that open memo. A word is enough for the wise.
Thank you, Brother Tony. We don't have any wise men and women left, but they will hear when they fully loaded AK-47 arrives at their front door. Then it will begin to make sense. It will begin to they will begin to make sense of what they are being told. So hopefully, as we are watching, your governor, your common sense governor, endorsed Tinubu for 2027. We're telling you guys, these people are not for us. I don't care how much PhD they hold. I don't care how much they pretend like they know. They're just like Democrats here. They don't know how to handle anything. They're just all over the place, not being able to provide solutions to the people that they claim that they love. They can help you. Their children don't even live in the freaking environment. They already transported all their family members outside the place because they know that it's not stable. Why are we listening to these people? They will come and tell you, oh, I believe in who I am. I wear akwete. I wear one watch. I wear one shoe. And you're looking at them, the decision that they're making is impacting you in a negative manner. And we are asking, how long are we going to listen to these people that have demonstrated over and over and over again that they don't even have what we are asking them to give us? That's another thing we need to come to terms with. They lack the capacity to provide these things, and yet we are giving them time, we are giving them effort, we are giving them accolade for them to continue to take us on a loop to nowhere. A loop to our damnation. Quite disheartening. Go ahead, sister. Let me see what else I need to pull up.
So we're saying that under further national elections, under the 1999 Constitution, is endorsement of the Fulani title deeds and a facilitation of the Fulani conquest agenda. Where we are now, we are not pleading or begging or lamenting because the motion has begun. The land, when you hear sovereignty, sovereignty is about people and the land. The only thing that gives you access to the land, because the land upon which Nigeria, the devilish Nigeria was constructed, they are ancestral homes that belong to distinct peoples. And those people are still alive and in existence. No matter how long the politicians lie to themselves in their own group, doing what they do, which is all about themselves and their families. When they finish, they hand over to their children, to their sons. That is what is going on. But we are saying, you, the ethnic nationalities, you have a right today to do the right thing. We must halt the journey to 2027 general elections. Like my sister said, Soludo has already endorsed Tinubu for 2027. All of them. So what you have is one unitary system. He just wants to return. And if you continue to allow 1999 Constitution to be in place, Tinubu will return. All he wants is to return. And when he finishes, he will give his son and his wife. And then when they finish, they give to their grandchildren and they continue. Why Fulani eliminate you and your children? The die is cast. So you are the one to decide what to do. We told you that the colonial monsters have three tools: fear, ignorance, and military terror. Fear and ignorance is true religion. That's why religion is a major tool in the hands of the colonial monsters. You must embrace it. Embrace this. It is what it is. Like from Nina's secretariat, he said, coming from slave trade, in which Africans were merchandise, Europe came to Africa with Christianity to advance their conquest and colonial agenda. It is what it is. Whether you're a priest, a father, or whatever, this is a fact on the table. And you go and read history, you will get it. No need to add sentiment, because when we say some of these things, people will think that we're saying that people should go back and worship trees and everything. That means you are even embracing the lies of the colonial monsters, because our people were not some of our people. In all the world, there were people that were worshiping certain things and people that were worshiping God, the creator. It was like that all over the world. Christianity did not bring the knowledge of God to earth. It didn't. People knew God and were moving with God in their own quiet, private place. Christianity just made religion a business.
It's a merchandise.
It's a merchandise. The same thing with Islam. So these institutions made religion a business and began to promote it, kill people, destroy people's culture and tradition to impose whatever it is they were bringing. It's a fact. Go and study it. And that's why I say, if you have not gone to study these things, please don't come and start holding public opinions. Don't come and start holding public conversation. It doesn't make sense, because you're talking from the point of ignorance. So why that is happening with Europe and Christianity, Arabs were coming, the same slave trade with Africans as merchandise. They came with Islam to advance their conquest and colonization agenda. It just two fits. One is this, one is that. But they're partners. In other words, those two foreign invaders, Europeans and Arabs, erected the religious framework, Christianity and Islam, sadly, to conquer and colonize Africa, confiscating their sovereignty so that they can take their resources. If you have heard this, what are you going to do as an ethnic person? You see, whether you hate the people from your ethnic nationality as an individual, that's not the discussion here. Because we know some of you, we see on social media, you hate your own people actually because they've done one thing to you and your family. We understand that. And we are not underrating whatever they did to you. But that is not what we're discussing. What we are discussing is about community well-being, a whole nation. The lands in Nigeria belong to peoples, the indigenous peoples. And you cannot have any unity or progress except justice is done by giving them back their land and their resources. Whether they are called Efik, Ijo, Yoruba, Igbo, whatever name they come with, it's not just a language. It is a people with culture, tradition, spirituality, full existence. They were conquered and their lands stolen. Now, what you're seeing, the bloodshed you're seeing, is that they are being eliminated and unalived so that nobody will be alive to claim that land again. And we're saying the two criminal gangs, Fulani and Europeans, Britain, are on this together. Whether you're seeing Bill Gates or you're seeing what all these are politicians, is the same project. So please, let's not be naive. Let's not be gullible. Let's understand it so that when we talk about reconstruction, renegotiation, it will make sense to you. And another thing is that as an individual, do not allow your people, you and your people, to be divided again along political lines or religious lines, because you have seen that this religion is false, is fake. So do not begin to come together and organize yourselves. The only thing putting you together is your ethnic nationality. It's not the same thing as political division and religious division. That is your identity, who you are. That's how you have sovereignty. You have ownership to your land. I'm an Igbo woman because I came from Igbo land. I'm not an Igbo woman because I speak Igbo. Anybody can speak any language. If you trace my origin, my identity, you will get to a family, a kindred, a clan, a community, alive, well. And if I appear there, they will identify me as their own. If I just call my last name, my maiden name, from the door of the town, they would take me to my house, even if I was lost. If the only thing I could remember is my last name, my father's name, if I mention it just at the beginning of the town, I won't be lost anymore. They will take me to they will identify me, take me to my father's compound, and my father's people will recognize me. If we can do DNA, we can get ourselves where we are situated. So we don't need to fight and quarrel. All we need to do is reorganize how we want to live in that space so that everybody will be taken care of. Thank you. So we're sorry that it took time to break this down because we hear some things on social media. We want to make it clear so that people understand what exactly we're saying and it will be clear. So we must renegotiate the union if we must stay alive. Let's listen to what our father is saying.
Clip yesterday, about 2 days ago, where a man was complaining. He was going to pick someone in a particular village. And they said, don't go there, nobody is there. He said, what do you mean? He said, there is no occupant in the village. He said, you must go. He went to the village, and the village was completely deserted. Bare. See houses? See, oh Lord, it was a bad sight. You couldn't see one mortal walk around. And this, they have gone to local government headquarters, and they are refugees in their own fatherland because of killer devils, a generation of killers. I was talking about it, and an elderly citizen of this country, he said, I heard you talk passionately about the situation in the land. He said, I need you to know some of the real problems so that we can know how to tackle it. I met him 25 years ago in the year of 2000 when I was invited to preach at Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship Regional Program in Sokoto. 25 years ago, he was 74 years. 25 years ago. 25 plus 74, that is 99. He has not reduced in strength from the time I saw him till today. That's in modern day. Sir, I'd like you to come, the sir. You're welcome, sir. Happy to see you, sir. You can, just in a word, let us know what you think as a church and as a body of Christians we should think about in this kind of plague of insecurity and all the terrible things we are experiencing in the country. You just told us a story in the first service, how you rode on scooter from Ibadan to Ilorin by 2 a.m. 12:30 a.m.
Arrived in Ilorin for
4:30 a.m. on the scooter with nothing to be afraid of under heaven.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Please, I would like some of our elderly people to sit down. Just in case of, yeah, go ahead, sir.
Is anybody
Well,
Somebody said if he can stand, I'm not sitting down.
One thing I want us to know is that the British gave us to the Fulani, and the Fulani want to take your land the way they took Hausa land. Any further voting in this land is endorsement of the title deed of the Fulani. Any further, what we need now, sir, is to sit down and renegotiate. Because you don't trust me, I don't trust you. Let's face it. We need to sit down like Awolowo, Sardauna, Azikwe sat down that time to say they want a federation. We haven't had any federation since January 15, 1966. It has been unitary government. We need, if we are going to stay together, and I think it's best to stay together, we need to sit down and renegotiate. We don't need further election. Any further election is deceit.
Yep. Any further election is for you to go and renew your sufferings. Is for Soludo to continue to pay for his son to live in high rise in London. Is for all these political criminals to continue to watch you while you suffer. They don't have any solution to what is going on back home. They don't know how to help you. They lack the capacity to help you. They don't have it to give you. So you go back to an election, 8 years of Tinubu. By the time you come out from it, if you don't suffer Kwashoko, I don't know what else that is going to happen to you. It's just that simple. So you live and you learn.
It's sad. You can't trust them. You cannot trust them. You can't trust the politicians. You can't trust them. So another Nina's video. So pay attention because it's instructional. Towards the end of the show, what we do is that we're not telling you what you must do. You go ahead, please, my sister.
Last 4 years, we have secured the consensus against that constitution countrywide. We have secured the consensus against the enforcers of that constitution. That is all the political parties that seek to govern Nigeria with that constitution, including the ones who have not won elections yet. The ones who have sworn and the ones who are planning to swear, because when they win, they will swear. So, Ninas is by these brokers announcing to us that going forward, because there's another period of renewal, that's another election that might happen in 2027 if the victims of unitary Nigeria remain in their sleep. And so Ninas is not going to, Ninas will do whatever it will take because of the number of people who have died from the operation of that constitution. All the hunger you see now, all the deprivation you see now, all the failures of every system you see. You've seen the one of the justice system. What about the police system? What about the electoral system? What about every system you can imagine, the governance system? All of them are in disarray on account of that constitution. And so, Ninas is saying we have endured it sufficiently. 25 years is long enough. When we were saying, let us stop and repair before we proceed to election in 2023, many people didn't understand it. But look at what has happened across the last 1 year and a half to them because they went to that election. The men of God in the land and all the people who are supposed to be watching out for the people who do not know. All of them were eager to get their own people to become president. Our kinsman will be president. Oh, it is Igbo turn. Where are we now? If we choose to proceed to that 2027 election under this constitution, it is a choice to perish. And it is a choice of stupid people. It is a choice of stupid people. But when the suffering will come, because if you think you are suffering now, what you are going through now is a child's play. If we do not terminate the operation of that constitution sooner than later, we are not saying chase out the people in government house. Ninas is still willing to accommodate in a transition all of those who are in the governance structure of now. Let those in government house, whether they won election or they didn't, remain in a transitional capacity through that period of transition, like South Africa did to ease itself out of the apartheid, bind in 1990. It took them 5 years. They ended in 1994 with the election that brought Mandela. It is this same problem we are trying to solve now that South Africa solved. Apartheid came in 1910, Nigeria happened in 1914. The Boers imposing a constitution that rendered the black slaves in their land. In case of Nigeria, the British and their Fulani friends imposing Nigeria that excluded the owners of the land from any meaningful thing. And now, by 1999, they had codified the first, the second, third time, and that's what they got to build their democracy on. Is it working for anybody now? It's not working. It's not. Everybody is saying it is not working. What then shall we do? To go to another election that will renew the life of that constitution in 2027? That will be a stupid decision. That will be a decision to build on a damaged foundation. And there's only one outcome possible. That edifice will crash. That edifice will crash. That Nigeria you're building on the foundation of a constitution that is damaged, the constitution that does not exist, will crash. And we're not saying it will happen by accident. The person speaking with you, as a part of a majority that reject that constitution, are going to do whatever it will take to crash that constitution. Those who are sitting in Abuja and thinking that they become the owners of our sovereignty, you better dress back, because right from this 4th anniversary, from the 16th day of December in 2024, Ninas will proceed with the mobilization to rally the victims of unitary Nigeria countrywide against the enforcers of unitary Nigeria. I repeat, Ninas will now rally the victims of unitary Nigeria, that is the peoples of Nigeria whose sovereignty have been hijacked by that constitution, against those who are holding on to that constitution as basis of union. 25 years is sufficient in terms of pleading and begging and generally trying to persuade. Now, the boxing ring, the venue for that fight is whether we proceed to election in 2027 under that constitution or we go to transition. Those who want to salvage their own people from this bondage will stand with us in saying transition in place of election. Let us go and repair this ship before we all sink with it. Those who want to hold hands with the enemy to continue to suck the blood of the people will say, oh, let us go to election and build our democracy further. It is a choice that we have all to make, but Ninas will lead those who reject that constitution, who then say they cannot go to another election under it because it will only renew their bondage, and who insist on immediate transition or the dissolution of the stupid union. The union is dead if we can't define the terms of that union. If anybody imagines that it is guns that will be used to camp and clamp, be informed that guns are useless in this discussion. It is that constitution that put the guns where they are now The collapse of that constitution means that everybody can take what that constitution took from them, including their sovereignty, including their economic access, including the goals to defend themselves in their place. We do not have a union under this bad arrangement. You heard it from Professor Akinwale, Anthony Akinwale. You heard it from Kingsley Moghalu. You heard it from Ayo Adebanjo many times. We do not have a union under this fraud of 1999. I think a word should be enough for the wise.
Thank you. Yep. We do not have a union. 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 So now that we know, we have heard that the correct diagnosis and prescription for all of this mayhem that we are seeing is the Fulani and their British cronies. It's time for us to know what we need to do, right? Now we have laid all the cases, all the points. What do we need to know to get ourselves out of this quagmire called Unitary Nigeria? I will be pulling up the next video so you can hear from the horse's mouth, the 5-point Nina's agenda. That's all it takes to end this mayhem. That's all it takes for you to take back your sovereignty. That's what it takes for you to start building your future, because you cannot build your future on a place called Nigeria that is falling apart. That everybody now is for Tinubu. Everybody now is APC. You don't even have a political union anymore. Oh, I thought we were in democracy. I forgot. It was democracy. That every member of your political class can be bought by golden nuggets. You dish one out, they are singing Tinubu songs. All of it. His wife is there, the so-called pastor. Remember, she said, we didn't need your money. We have so much money. The pastors of Redeem. And this is where you are. When was the last time any of them came on national TV and check on you? None. Instead, they keep selling you more lies. They keep selling you more promises that in the next 10 years, a lot of things must have happened to our people. 4 years that they are looking for when it comes 2027. And we are saying, receive sense. This is the template of the table. This is what you need to do to get to your destination. It's not in church. It doesn't have anything to do with God. It has everything to do with practicality that you can implement. Nobody else. And by the way, the good news also is that it's not being held by British, by the way. This template that we are sharing with you, the British MI16 does not have access to it. You can do something about it. Can you see my video, my screen, my new screen, or no?
Not yet. The old video is still up.
Oh, see?
Okay. Now
what about now?
Yeah, we can see it coming up.
Restructure. We do it this way and not that way. Those that come to say, oh, restructure. We do it this way and not that way. The Nina's 5-point proposition is the only proposition on the table that identifies the problem in specificity. The unitary constitution of Nigeria that identifies the solution to decommission that constitution, that identifies the mechanism for applying that solution. That is to suspend the elections, go into transition to rework that. That's the mechanism for that decommissioning. The number 4 of the proposition is a strategy for activating that mechanism to say, look, let the victims of this constitution insist that they won't go to another election as a mark of their rejection of that constitution, and therefore be the ones to come in a 2-stage procedure to work out the replacement. It is not the business of National Assembly. The question of constitution making is far beyond the mandate, the legislative mandate of National Assembly. Anybody in the National Assembly who is discussing constitution on your behalf is holding on to your sovereignty, and they're telling you they now own you. They are now the owners of the sovereignty. That you voted at the election it has become reason while they are now the owners of your lives. They can decide what will happen to you, whereas you are the one who sent them on an errand, and they went and joined the enemy to wreck you, to kill you, and share your blood. That is what they do every month in Abuja. They're sharing your blood. And so, in the fifth proposition, we say a time-bound announcement. What we're inviting the peoples of Nigeria to do today is to adopt those 5 points of proposition, because that is what will take the matter from start to finish, where we are now. There's nothing that is going to stop those who are tormenting you from carrying on in 2027. Is it the police that will repent and come and join you in how to topple them in election? Is it the INEC that have been sharing with them for many years that will repent and now begin to count your vote? Is it this judiciary we have seen that is going to repent and now declare the truth, declare the law? We've seen that they have gone worse than they have ever been. And so all of what you need to bring about any change, if you don't define it by yourself, you have to define the change. It's not enough to come and say, oh, we want change. Oh, we want revolution. What is it that has to be done to bring about that change? What is it that has to be done to compel the renegades that are now have hijacked the powers of state? In an election, we saw how it went. And this address goes to all of those who subscribe to that constitution, who subscribe to elections under that constitution, because their stupidity has led us to where we are now, in which millions of people are distressed. That stupidity, by that small number, has become the reason 230 million people can perish. Their life is already ruined. Many are dying off. Others are running away to even more serious danger than Nigeria is. You saw the ones in Libya. You saw the ones going to Asia. You saw the ones that managed to get to UK. They are telling them now that they have to be deported. They have to be taken to Rwanda or wherever. Go to the US and see the pandemonium. But all of us, home and abroad, who suffer because we are Nigerians, whose passports have become a badge of shame, this address applies to all of you. The diaspora, the Nigerian diaspora, we are talking about the constitution that is worse than apartheid. You are busy organizing yourself in how you come and vote. Vote the votes of the millions of people at home. What has it amounted to under this constitution? Why can't you join that discussion of how we get rid of this constitution? The South Africans in the days of apartheid, who were overseas, everybody was on one subject. How do we get rid of apartheid constitution? But today you're not involved in the discussion of getting rid of that control. You are talking about how to come and vote, how to come and all of you belong to one party or the other. We see you come in and go. You fly in for party conventions. You partake, you are party chairman of a party under which constitution? Under which constitution? We ask you. What is the value of your education if you cannot sit down and make an analysis of what the problem is? Can you cure an ailment if you have not diagnosed it? And so we invite you to this. If you have not read that force majeure, particularly the 5-point proposition, you get on whatever search engine, Google, whatever. Go to the website www.ninasvoice.org. Search for, just type force majeure. It will come up in many headings. Go and read that 5-point proposition so you can see what we're talking about.
So you can see what we're talking about. So that you don't use your professorship to confuse us. You don't come out from the forest and join the conversation. So that we're not telling you that we have a patient with cancer and we are looking for chemotherapy and you run out. Oh, I have aspirin. It's medication too. There's something that he can do. When we know that aspirin is not going to touch that cancer. It's no longer okay for you to have an opinion. Oh, yeah, we are all about superior arguments because the people that we are dealing with, they have AK-47. And they have English, you can have your neighbor. Yeah, and I know the other side with your ancestors. So it's no longer okay. It's no longer okay for you to be gathering yourself in a meeting and buying pencil to send to a school that people cannot even go to because they are afraid of their lives. We need resources to run this campaign. What are you doing in your neck of the wood as an adult that is giving birth to children, giving birth to grandchildren? A lot of you are in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I know you're still wearing jeans, so you think you're 16, but you're not. We had to get this done, my people. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Until next week, I posted that Nina's 5-point agenda is there on YouTube, so that even if you don't know what to do, if you can forward it to a lot of people, ask them to look at this thing with don't use your religious eyes, because they will confuse you. Just ask your ancestors to come and minister wisdom to you, so that you can listen to this thing and begin to make sense of it, that you are not going anywhere with a constitution that is holding you as a slave, that is holding you hostage. So Soludo with his PhD will come out and tell you to go and run for an election under a constitution that is not going to allow you to progress, that will not allow anything good to come your way. Can't you see that they're deceiving us? We give birth to a child that is today, in the next 8 years, Tinubu or whatever his name is would have ruined his life, because he won't have anything good in the 6 years of his life. Can't you guys see that we want more? As sisters, as mothers, as aunties, that we want more for our children. Do you think it's all about us wearing fashion and going from Lagos to Paris back and forth? No, we want more for our children. We want them to be able to compete on the STEM stage: science, technology, engineering, and math, because they are capable. And we have all these bonsus everywhere, causing mayhem, making it sound like we are not able to rule ourselves or do anything good, for that matter. Until next week, brothers and sisters, I don't want to cross over to the other side and start crying now. We'll see you guys next week. Please continue to share, get this information across. Be a change agent. Be bold. This is not time for you to be, shy. Be bold. Go to your boys association, girls association meeting. Tell them when I in a meeting if we do not resolve this. God put us in those associations for a time like this. So if you're using it to be quiet, sewing uniform, going to a party, that's not what he put you there. He knew that a day like this will come. It's time for us to utilize that avenue and make it happen. We thank our Papa that went to the church last week to spread this good news. May God continue to use you to get our people on board. He say. Bye-bye now. Okay, till next week.